evening. It is a slightly later one than normal, only 5 minutes late, Jeff. So we're not late again, LOL. But yeah, it's Wednesday the 11th. It will be our preview of the massive game against Victor Plzen. But there is a couple of things I do want to discuss with you guys before we get that up. So bath time. First things first. Let me don't forget my manners. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm always good, man. I'm always good. Yabba. How are we?
Yeah, doing all right, man. Doing all right. Just enjoyed the Champions League football and a lot to discuss, I think. There's a few topics I wanted just to discuss with you guys, which I've been thinking about today, but maybe later in the show.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Look, let me say a couple of howdies. Stephanie saying stand up and be counted. Solo's in the house. Bilal has come in with a proper comment. Well done, mate. No silly jokes. Where are we? V talking about Horlicks. I was never a Horlicks fan, to be fair. I liked Milo, the one in the green tin. I'm not sure how much people know about Milo, but I used to drink Milo. Jeff, yes, we see ya. Who else is in it? Chat Sport. Howdy, man. I hope you're doing well. Leon.
Any thoughts on Leon the other?
I've got nothing to say on that. We discussed this backstage, didn't we? It wasn't live.
No,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Oh, thank you. We don't discuss that live anyway. I watched it the other day, by the way. I watched it a couple of days ago.
It's a player. It's not.
So how do they know about Leon then?
It's because there's a player, Leon.
Oh, so they don't know about our conversation the other day? No,
they don't. But if you had read the title of the show, you would have known that Leon was actually in the title. But it's all right. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
You know, I'm restricted.
That's enough. Yo, that's it. That's it. Diego Leon, he's Paraguayan. Bilal, he's Paraguayan.
Oh yeah, I've heard the news about that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not with the program.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. We know it's late. Look, we'll talk about. We'll do the preview towards the end of it. Obviously, Rafa's price been set at 40 mil. At least a price has been set now. It gives the suitors time to sort out their money and maybe talk to his agents to see if they can sort out a deal. I'm glad it's moving quickly. And that's all I want to say on that one, to be fair. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah, we discussed it yesterday in depth, and we've got a lot of time to sort of let it filter through and actually think about it. And I spoke to, I don't know if Solo's still around, but Solo's said something about it today, his perspective on the whole thing, which is different to the majority of people. He thinks there's a witch hunt against Rashford, and we are not judging him how we judge other players. I think he's talking about players like Grealish or other sort of high-profile players that don't deliver. They don't get as much heat. Yeah, this is from Solo.
Grealish.
Yeah, this is from Solo. That's what I'm saying. He's making an argument, presenting his argument, because he's not able to do that today. So yeah, it's interesting that other people. I just said to him, has he been consistent in your eyes? And he didn't answer. He swerved the question and came with some other stuff. But it just shows you people are still sort of loving him. I think he's a good player, but I do think he needs to move on. For 40 million, I think that's decent enough. And I wish him well. No hatred. There's no hateration in my station towards Rashford. I just think, as we discussed yesterday about finances and being a homegrown talent and the profit you'd make from that, like we did with McTominay, for example, that's the climate that we're living in right now. I think it's time at his age to go to pastures new, and we say thank you and we move on. So Rashford, I don't know how the rest of the fan base feel about it. I don't know how we feel about it on the agenda, but outside of that, I was surprised by what Errol said, Solo said, and maybe there is some balance. I'd like to hear some balanced argument about it from other people who's not pro at Rashford out like me and maybe you guys.
I'm not pro Rashford out. I would love nothing more than him to bang a hat trick when the next time he plays, but it's always going to be inconsistent. So yeah, you know, it's taken me a long time to get to this stage. I don't hate him. You know, if he stays, great. Well, not great, to be fair. I think he needs because we need the money. But I don't care. I don't care about Grealish. Grealish doesn't play for my club. You know, I don't care about all of these other players that they're talking about that aren't performing. Yes, he does get a lot of abuse. I understand that. But if he was banging in goals and doing the job that he was supposed to be doing, then maybe he wouldn't get as much abuse as he gets. So, look, it is what it is, man. Bath time.
Yeah. What? You want to talk about Rashford?
Yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts because it's going to be a quick one. I know that already.
Look, if it's 40 million that they're saying is the asking price, they're going to accept 30, 35 million. It's whether that includes a big future percentage sale. I think I'm like you on this, Mr. B. I wasn't completely convinced yesterday that this Plettigol chap, like from Germany, why he would have like the information and things. It would, you know, it could only really be coming from contacts at places like Bayern. But then Telegraph put it out. We've had more stories today. It looks like it's actually happening, and I'm very surprised. But we'll see. I mean, to be honest, come Monday morning, people might have a very, very different view on Rashford. We all know what football is like. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see with this one because as much as that boy frustrates me, and he has for far longer than he has to you two, like he is one of the only proven goal scorers that we have in the squad. And that's kind of my concern is that we're a team that have no goals and we're taking out the most potent, you know, we're trying to sell the most potent goal scorer.
How do you think Rashford feels about this? Because we haven't heard anything from him.
I don't care.
But as you put yourself in his shoes, how do you think he feels? Do you think he feel betrayed by the club? And
why?
Do you think he starts sulking?
Absolutely.
I don't know. We're just asking the question. Yeah, how do you think he'd feel about it?
I think that like Rashford goes to training, and 99% of the time he's probably fairly, like, you know, he's probably fairly professional and things. We only hear about the bad stuff that we do, but I think Rashford's got himself in this situation in my mind. Like, he's on a huge contract. He's never shown like leadership qualities and things like that. And I would hope that Rashford is thinking, you know, like, I'm going to show everyone that I can't be sold, that I'm the man to lead us forward. But instead, you know, he's going to be like, what did he say? If you doubt me, I feed off it, or some nonsense like that in that that interview he gave about buses. I'm not really interested in how Rashford feels, because at the end of the day, he's paid a lot of money to put on a shirt and perform for Manchester United, and we kind of, when we look at like the best Rashford, we've judged him off goals, which is fine, but he's never like shown to me that he is a player with the hunger or the desire to really turn this club around. And I always go back to that match against Villarreal, which I would never be able to get over. So I don't care how he feels, because if he wants to look for blame, he should look in the mirror, because it's him that's got himself in this situation. Because the big thing that they've said is off-field distractions. That's come out.
So you say you don't care how he feels, but I've raised the question because we've got a few games to go before the January transfer window, and I think it could have an effect. This sort of news coming out. If he starts sulking,
is he going to play? Is he going to play any worse? Is he going to contribute any less to what we're doing?
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know the character of the man to see. Like, say, is he going to say, will he react bad? Is he start sulking, say, F this club, I'm not going to play my best anymore? Or will he show some resilience and go out there and, like they said, make him unsellable by performing, back to his higher levels that he's capable of doing occasionally.
So what's the point, Yabba, in asking how we think he feels?
Because we've got games to go. I just said it. We've got games to go before the January transfer window. And I'll be interested to know, with this news coming out, is he going to sulk and perform bad?
How he's going to react.
How it's going to affect our performances going forward.
How do you think he's based on?
From what I know, I don't know him personally, but from what I've seen, I think he won't like this. I think he had all the children thing, the school thing, that boosted up his. He had this big painting on the wall, didn't he? To memorial or something about him. Rashford, like I said yesterday, he's got the keys to Manchester. He's the king of the city, And so for him to be saying you're not wanted anymore, I think he might react badly to that. A bit like Gaza when he was kicked out. Glenn Hoddle told him he's not going to the 1998 World Cup.
I think
tantrum or something like that.
What do you think? I mean, what would be really, really telling is I'm front running a comment I've seen from Chat Sport where he said he will probably be left out of the squad. I mean, what do you think to kind of get the message across to Rashford that we might not see him in squads, like regardless of his fitness?
No. I can't see that. I just cannot see. They're not going to ostracize him. They don't hate him. It's not a Sancho situation. No, I think he'll still be picked. Whether he scores or not, I actually think that the die's been cast. So it's up to him to get his head down and to leave the club. Leave the fans thinking, okay, maybe we shouldn't have let him go, and he's still gone, rather than he's gone and he deserves to go. Do you know what I mean? If he's going to leave with a bang. Let us remember him, put in a 20 goal from now till the end of the season, knowing that you're gone, knowing that your mind's now clear in the summer, you're going to be fresh, rather than be sulking and, not wanting to run. Because if that's the case, then he won't get picked. He won't get picked.
It doesn't have that mentality, Mr. B. Like
I know, but I would. I know.
Do you remember when Pogba was like, "Oh, my big motivation is I'm going to make Manchester United eat their words for not giving me 300k a week or whatever it was," and 6 months later he was banned for 4 years. Like, I just can't see. I don't know. I think Rashford is one of those players. Like Rooney was a player who played better when he was angry. Rashford is a player who plays better when he's happy. So I don't think that this is going to work out very well for either of us, like as the club or as Rashford. I think that there really needs to be a resolution, and since he's on such a big contract, I think the only two resolutions is he signs a new one at vastly reduced wages, the same kind of deal they gave to Varane, or he is probably out on loan with an obligation to buy or something in January.
Jesus.
So the news coming out, I think they were suggesting that it would be a summer deal, not necessarily a January thing. But I haven't been privy to all the information. But I did read something about maybe it would happen in the summer if it was to happen.
Well, they've given people enough time to work it out now. I mean, people are desperate. Maybe if somebody does come in, 40's not, it's not extortionate. Maybe somebody will come in with that in January and then he'll be gone.
Do you think it takes Saudi money?
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
I'd be shocked if he did.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah. He has no interest. I don't know him, but I just don't see that happening. There's no need.
Everyone has a price, though. If you said to Rashford, I don't know, 100 million for 2 years, I don't care who you are. That is
I'm gone.
Very difficult.
Yeah. I'm leaving my kids and everybody. I'm going. I'd walk to Saudi for that. 100 million. Yeah, I'd walk to Saudi and swim the oceans, and I can't swim.
Me neither.
I've seen that Ivan Toney, since he's gone to Saudi, looks like he hasn't been considered for the England squad. So do you think if by going to Saudi you sort of eliminate yourself from international football?
He
I
hasn't been
think
picked
so.
anyway, though, has he?
He was around the squad before when he was playing for Brentford, but
Oh, I was talking about Rashford. Sorry, I was talking about Rashford.
oh, sorry. Yeah, he's not. But if he wanted to get back into it, he needs to be performing better at Man United, and then or go somewhere else.
Has Tuchel started for England?
I think
Like,
he
is he the
starts.
manager now?
I think
He starts January.
yeah.
When's the next international?
Okay.
January.
February.
Yeah, so he takes over January the 1st, apparently, and that's why everybody was moaning, saying that why is he not starting whenever he started? So yeah, January 1st is when the contract technically starts.
That might play a part with Rashford. Is that like he might be on the I think that you would ring up Tuchel and sort of say, like, if I'm playing in this league, if I'm playing in that league, does it make any difference to like my prospects?
Really? Do you think that? I don't know.
Yeah, Italy, for example. If Rashford goes to Italy, like how many?
Yeah, but Tuchel's only there for 18 months.
Yeah, but I mean, Rashford will be Rashford, with his obsession with America, will be looking at that World Cup. That should, like, apart from the club, he should be looking at that World Cup. which England have a good chance of winning, thinking that is where he can become a real star because he loves America. He's always out in America. The World Cup's in America. Like, if he does well out there, he might think Brand Rashford could, I don't know what he wants to do, become director of Homeland Security or something, but he loves America. And if, for example, like we've seen Tammy Abraham, there was a Chelsea centre-back who went Tomori,
yeah.
They never really got in.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so I think, like, Tuchel might determine what, like, you know, if he goes to Real Madrid, Atletico, or Barcelona, then yeah, he's in consideration. But if he goes to Inter, who are a club that do those kind of deals, is he in consideration? Like, like AC Milan or someone like that. Like, these are the clubs that, they've got. Whilst they don't have a lot of money, they've got these very powerful families behind them. Like Juve have got the good bloke who owns Fiat or something. Like, they can find a way of getting the money to Rashford, but it's whether he can go to those leagues or not. Because I think there's only a couple of clubs he can go to, and the standout one is always PSG.
Yeah, but I get everybody. The PSG one would be the one, but I don't know. I don't know. Halftime. I just don't know.
Does anyone want to keep him in chat?
Can't hear them.
We'll soon find out. Yeah, we'll soon find out. I know V definitely doesn't.
No, he keeps.
Yeah,
confusing him with Kwanzaa.
He's what?
I think V is confusing Rashford with Kwanzaa, the Liverpool player that had his. He had a lot of weird DMs leaked with an OnlyFans girl called Astrid Wett who supports Chelsea, and V constantly.
Oh yeah, I know her.
Oh, you know her, do you?
Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah.
Yeah, like that Kwanzaa player at Liverpool, like got done for not done, but he got exposed for sending her really pathetic messages. Like, I mean, you're a Premier League footballer. Like, you don't need to be doing this. But V always sort of brings up that Rashford has been caught talking to an OnlyFans girl, and I think he's confused.
Oh, that's what OF means. Okay. I didn't.
Yeah. I only learned that the other day myself. I didn't know what that meant.
Maybe that's a generational thing. I don't know. Look, whatever it is, isn't it? Okay. Rashford done and gone. Maybe. A definite incoming by the sound of things is Diego Leon, Paraguay left back, 17 years old, and he's massive.
Is he?
He's massive. Halftime, he's your kind of 17-year-old, mate. He's huge.
From Paraguay, and he's massive.
Yeah, he's built like he looks like he doesn't take any nonsense. So they're talking about 3 mil £3 million. I don't know what it equates to in euros, but they're talking about maybe 6.5 million euros for the whole deal. Obviously, that we've got that South American transfer guru in that we extended his contract. We got him in the early part, and we extended his contract, innit? So obviously he's doing a good job, and maybe that must be the links that he's going with. But what I want to ask you, to be fair, is what obviously the player coming in, the fact that he's Paraguayan, it means that, you know, we're doing our due diligence somewhere. So somebody's found him. Amas.
Like, what does that mean for him?
Yeah, what does it mean for Amas?
Well, my understanding is that this Paraguayan is not seen as someone who's going to be near the first team. Like, he's more.
Although he's playing first team football for Paraguay, he's been playing first team football for his team, isn't he? So this is what I don't understand. You're going to get a player over. I understand you have to check his ability, but if he's good enough, he's good enough, innit?
I mean, Paraguay is a hell of a place. It's got one of the biggest illegal markets I've ever been to in my life. It's essentially lawless, parts of it, where it was 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't like signing straight from South America. Like, they're very complicated.
Yeah, but for that, okay, you're talking about ownership and stuff like. Oh, but look, if they can sort that out, you know, is it still an issue?
No. It's if they can sort it out, it's an issue. But I mean, don't forget that, like, the majority of Barcelona's financial problems are caused from that Neymar transfer, where they were bunging people left, right, and centre. It's just something that it's not clean enough for my liking. I prefer to get them from places like Portugal, where they've been over for a year or two, or Italy or something like that. I don't think that United should be going straight into that market, because it's very, very difficult to get it right. And then, I mean, like, look, this guy, if he comes in, I mean, I think, like, what have we got? We've got Malacia and we've got Luke Shaw, and they're not reliable. I like Malacia. I thought he was a pretty average player when we first got him, but he's looked pretty good when he's been back. But you're right. What does it say about Harry Amas? And, like, we've let that guy go to Girona, Alvaro Fernandez. I've never seen him play personally, but apparently he's very good. I don't know about this. I think that this is someone who might become good in 2 or 3 or 4 years. He's not going to come into the first team now. And I wouldn't be that excited about it, because I think that this is United trying to sort of basically trying to make money through the academy by getting in players that are at a certain age. That means that they can get homegrown status and pure profit status, and then loan them about and sell them. And I wouldn't really think that there's a plan for this guy to come into the first team. I think it's more a money generating scheme, the likes that Chelsea and Man City have profited off for years.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go with that as well. I don't know the player that well, but for $3 million, I think it's a good deal. It was, I think it was from Brexit. Since Brexit, we've been able to sort of, the market in South America has been open to us. It's easy to get players in, and you need to exploit it, because there's a lot of talent out there, hungry players who want to come over to Europe. That's the main thing, coming to Europe and making a living. And there's a lot of talent out there, as we know. I mean, usually they get snapped up, and we're doing that now with this young guy. Hopefully he's a bit of a gem. You ask about Amas. I don't think is any issue for Amas. Amas will look at it and say, make me stronger. I'm going to prove myself even more now and push forward. It's a squad game.
Yeah.
Where's he gonna prove himself? Because
he's I think
yeah, but we're playing a right back at a left back and he hasn't had a sniff of anything. So where are you getting this optimism from?
Because I think there's a plan for all the players. You know, we might not be seeing them coming through at the moment, but like BATHTIME said, in 3-4 years' time, if we get the development stage right, we can have a sort of a nice route towards the
Yeah,
senior
but he's
team.
the same age.
Yeah, no, but it's not. What I'm saying is, competition is good. Competition is healthy, especially at a big club like Man United. You don't want to be the main man and not have someone that you want to sort of raise your levels at. Look at Ronaldo. I don't think Ronaldo would be half the player he was if Messi wasn't around, because the competition's there, something to compete against if you've got that right mentality. The only thing I think we should do, if we're talking about youth players and buying these young players in, we need to find a way to transform them into seniors in a better way. I was reading about Monaco yesterday, and they were saying Monaco got great academy. You see how many great players come through there, even Martial. And I think what they did recently, they made a decision. Remember Toure, who used to play for Liverpool? He runs their youth team. Remember the guy played for Liverpool in the Champions League final in 2005?
Did he score a backheel own goal once?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He's a bit of a. He's people joke about him, but he's doing all right now. He's still in the game, so he's managing the Monaco youth team. And what they've done, they've taken them out of the league that they were in before, and they're playing UEFA football and another Premier League for their French team, football, which is really competitive, and it helps them. They say this closes the gap from youth football to senior football, helps the players develop. And watching them tonight, there's 3 players that are playing, 17-year-olds and 20-year-olds playing in the first team now. So that they've really helped with that. I just think we need to do something similar. I'm watching Obi, Obi, whatever, scored enough goals. I'm watching under 18s. I'm thinking, yeah, it looks good. You're doing really well, and Amas is doing really well. But how can you expect them to step up to senior level, being like a big fish in that small pond against kids, basically with acne, suddenly playing against grown-ass men and expecting them to perform? So we need to find a way to close the gap. I know we've got this Barcelona B. Monaco used to play in the 2nd or 3rd division, their youth team, to keep competitive senior football. And then you've got the Brentford model as well. There's different ways to do it, but we need to find a way with all this talent we've got to develop, because like we get frustrated. Pelestri was messed around and couldn't really prove himself on the senior stage. Our loans are poor. We've got to find a method of getting them playing first team football quicker. And
surely that's the loan market.
I don't know, or some way. Have you seen the under 18s, under 21s football? I don't think it's
leave them alone.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not very good.
I do have a ridiculous opinion that I've kept to myself for years, but I think that there would be the more coaches you have in football, the less good players there are, and I think that the fun gets coached out of players and so on, and because if you have lots of coaches, you're spending time on the training ground being coached, whereas they should just be playing football, or like. In the same way that people talk about street footballers and stuff like that, the reason you call someone a street footballer isn't just because of like how they use the body and the tricks and stuff like that. It's because they played from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon till it was time to go home. Like, and that is just a huge amount of football every day for weeks. And I think that coaches like our mate, was it Rav, the coach that we had on?
Oh,
Instagram guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you maybe talk about like blowing the whistle during things? And I was getting really stressed out because that drives me up the wall. I think that you're right, Yabba, that we might not have the best way of developing players. I mean, we've got a young lad out at Wigan. I'm not sure how well that he's doing, but I wouldn't mind us to go back to the Royal Antwerp model. Like, where we shipped Johnny Evans and Welbeck, and they all got in trouble out there. But because it was, like they learned how to be footballers and how to live as footballers out there. And Harry Amas is, he's in some ways, he's like our kind of version of Joe Cole, where everyone knew who Joe Cole was before he played football, like a senior game. And Harry Amas is just going to come into this incredible amount of pressure and like people saying like he's got to be amazing. And when we saw him play against Rosenborg, he was dreadful. Like, because it was he wasn't fit enough at the start of the season and so on. I agree with you. I think we've got to find a better way to blood our youngsters.
I've got a thought on the Amas one. I still think he's going to get sold. Do you think that whoever comes in with the most money? I just feel like we'll get a replacement in the Paraguayan guy for 3 mil, and then Amas will be put up for sale. And if Villa are coming in for him, then Villa aren't going to pay less than 25.
25.
Listen, look at all the money that was being spunked about, and when players who weren't even playing, players that we didn't even know about.
That was a complete fix, wasn't it? That was Chelsea, Villa, Everton, Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm surely they can work out a fix somewhere. I can't see him going for less than. There's no point in him going for less than 20 mil.
Well, no, it's not. Well, look, we need money and so on, and I think that one of the issues with the academy system now is it used to be about producing players, training them in a philosophy, all that kind of stuff. But essentially, all it is now is a cash machine for clubs. You look at what Manchester City have done with, is it James Trafford, the goalkeeper, Burnley, 30 million, ridiculous fee, and that means that they can then go and buy, Haaland or Grealish for 100 million. And I think that what this signing is indicative of is that we are going to look to basically churn our youth academy to try and get the money in to repair the first team. And I'm not sure I'm happy with that. I think that is a detriment to what Manchester United is about. We've always had a special relationship with our youth academy. It's saved us, it's given us class 92. It saved us in the 50s and 60s and so on. And I don't like the fact it's being used as a sort of piggy bank. And I completely agree with you. I think that Harry Amas, if we need money, I think that if there's a 15 million, I think it's a much more likely fee for him.
Plus sell on.
Yeah, 15 million, 30% sell on fee or something like that. They'll be we need that money. And then they'll go out and sign. I've no idea who we link with at the moment.
Ferguson.
Yeah, Evan Ferguson. They'll use that for Evan Ferguson's loan. And I don't think that's the right way of doing stuff.
We've seen though, Man City had a great youth team, and it's only Phil Foden and Rico Lewis maybe have just come through. And both of them are not really established as yet. I look at Morgan Rogers was at Man City. He went to Middlesbrough, and now by getting that first team football, he's proven what a good player is. And now he's quite valuable, isn't he? He's playing Champions League football. Then obviously the Cole Palmer situation with him. And there was someone else I was thinking of.
Sancho?
Not Sancho, no. It came through. Oh, the Ipswich striker.
Roy Delap.
Roy Delap's son.
Liam Delap, sorry.
Yeah. By playing for first team football in the Championship or wherever, coming up with Ipswich, he's proven to be the talent. So that as you were discussing earlier about closing the gap from becoming a senior, it's something that needs to be done where we've got a Championship side or someone that we have a good relationship with. And like Carrick's a good friend of ours, he's at Middlesbrough. He had Morgan Rogers, he knew about him from Manchester. They brought him in. And obviously our guy, Kieran McKenna, was at Ipswich, and he brought in Rory Delap's son, Liam Delap, because he knew about his talent. So we need to find a way, and these guys have stepped up, and now they've been talked about. Thing, but you don't want to stifle someone's talent. And that's why I think Amas, if you talk about we're getting the best out of him, he needs to stop playing this dibby football they're playing on the Saturday morning, and go out there and start playing pro football with seniors, whether it's abroad like Antwerp thing that's great, or playing in the Championship. Just get out there, send them out on loan, and get them playing proper football. If you really rate them, you want them to develop, because there's nothing in place at the moment to really sort of make it competitive for these youngsters.
What's the last loan that did well for us?
I think Ahmad's will go to Sunderland. That made him well loved. He got awards out there, and played really well, and had a lot of game time, and sort of lit it up. And that's when we really saw, that he's actually got something about him. But when he was at Rangers, he he could have that could have destroyed him, because Rangers, you expect them, they were playing, and you got to Europa League final, but Van Bronckhorst didn't like him. It's just one of them things, just didn't fancy him and didn't give him the game time. And then even when he's at Sunderland, we have people like you guys on the show were saying how he can't last 60 minutes, he's getting subbed, he hasn't got the stamina. There's always question marks, but at least he had that experience, and that gave him the confidence to do what I think he's doing now.
Yeah, that's more of a change in manager, though, wasn't it? Like, those loans were under Ollie and Ten Hag, and neither of them really used him when they came back. I mean, Ahmad did he get Player of the Month for August?
Yeah, and then didn't play for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then Alvaro Fernandez, I believe that he was he not the Player of the season?
Yeah, Preston.
Yeah,
and
I worry, Yabba, that we sort of going to do what we did with players like James Garner. We're going to send them out on a loan, prove that they can play 30 games, and then sell them, because unfortunately we need money at the moment to rebuild in this 3-4 whatever it is. And I'm very unhappy, because I think it's against the ethos of the youth academy.
Yeah, but also on the flip side of that, I think if they James Garner, if he'd done really well and proved himself, then you could say, let's keep him, because then you get to see the real player at senior level. There's always question marks, isn't there? Looking like this Obi guy, banging goals, the youth team. And the question mark is, well, can he come into the first team? And can we afford to take a risk playing him? When we need results right now.
Do you think he's physically ready? Do you think he's physically ready? He's 16. Yeah, but let's be serious. It's very rare that you're going to get a 16-year-old. I say very rare. We can probably count on 5. I mean, you go back to black and whites, you could probably go 10 of players at that age who broke into first team and they played like they were men.
So what my thing is to ask you is, what would be the plan with someone like that who's obviously blowing up? Look at Greenwood. He was doing good numbers in the under 18s, and he got into the first team, and he's not exactly strong, but he was talented, 2-footed. He was
I think he needs at least another. He needs at least another 6 or 7 months to a year. If he's still banging it in, then then he's proved that he's not a flash in the pan. All right. To be fair, I don't think he's a flash in the pan, because he was scoring goals at Arsenal for fun as well. So, obviously there is something there, but there's no rush.
Yeah.
If he's good enough, then he'll be training like Kone and some of these other players who are training with the first team, and then he's going to handle proper defenders like Maguire, like Dillit, who will touch him in a way that he's not going to get touched in an under 18 game. You understand? So it's learning. I mean, he looks like a piece of spaghetti. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
All he's going to take is one elbow from a Gabriel, and he'll fold like a pack of cards. So I don't think physically he's ready. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he will.
I totally agree with you about the 7 months and see how he is. And then next season, take him on loan, send him to the Championship, and get him playing regular football, and then see. So that's just 2-3 years down the line, like BATHTIME said originally.
But the two things that I think of is, one, with a player like Chido, he's very new to the club, so I wouldn't mind to keep him for 6 months, say, just to get just to understand how the club works and all this kind of stuff, build a relationship with teammates that isn't a WhatsApp group or whatever for loan signings. But my sort of concern with these things is that he's 16, right? And you're correct. He's just it's like a 20-year-old playing against 8-year-olds. He can just do what he wants and score. So the challenge isn't there to get better. But if we send him, if he's not ready for senior football, for senior men's football, because he's 16. I don't know what we do with a player like that. Do we just wait it out until he's 17, 18, and then send him to the Championship? Or what do you do?
Well, I think the main thing is, I mean, when we look at Pogba and Angel Gomez, their agents were telling them that you're good enough now to play in the first team and you better strike a deal. I think keep saying he's 16. I think he's turning 17 soon. He's going to sign professional form. So then the decision was made, because I think when we first signed him, they were saying he'd be our third choice striker this season. So clearly that's not happening at the moment. So when he signs this contract, which is coming up, I think November, I think he's turned 17 now, then we'll see what, because when you sit down and sign, he will be saying, well, what's the plan for me? What's going to happen with me? And that's when someone needs to set him down and say, this is the route we have for you into the first team. Play another year here with the youths, maybe go on loan next year, and then we see how you develop and just keep going strong. So yeah, there's like Mr. B said, I think with these youth players, you have to manage them properly. We've seen how they can just fall apart and think everything just crash and burn with some of these youth players. You have to manage them properly, because you just don't know that someone who looks exceptional in the youth team, whether they can make that transition to pro football, senior football. I was watching who's the old Stoke, Tony Pulis. He was saying the hardest decision that he's ever had to make. Obviously, he has to tell people, sorry, in the senior team, sorry, you're leaving, or I'm dropping you, or you're no longer wanted the club, and that sort of thing. But the hardest decision he's ever made is like telling youth players who are hungry and they're told by their parents so great and they've grown up, they've been star players and all this expectation for them, telling them that they're not going to make it and they have to leave. And that's been the toughest thing for him, because there's nothing in place to prepare them for the next step. Remember we spoke to Barry Miller, and he was like writing to clubs and had that motivation, to do that. And that's how he got himself into the professional game. He could have just gone to the construction site and started working and told everyone, I could have been pro. But he actually had the desire to get up off his ass and do things. And a lot of kids that age don't have the minerals for that. So it's a tough stage for these young players, and you never really make it until you probably played 100 games. Another thing quickly, tried to talk about other stuff, but there was a discussion being made I was listening to, and I totally agree with it. This woman footballer was saying, what determines greatness in football? And it's true, greatness is if you can have a career in football for 5 to 10 years, you're great.
Yeah, but that's great compared to the general population.
Yeah.
So that would be like a doctor that would be like saying that Harold Shipman was great because he got his medical license and not lots of other people did. What you want to be doing is you want to be comparing yourself to like other professionals, surely. No,
but I'm saying it's great. I mean, look. Anyone I know,
that's a bad attitude, to be honest, because that is like you've signed the professional contract. You're great. You've arrived. You've made it. That's exactly what we're not looking for.
I said 5 to 10 years as a career in football. If you've at the end of it, when you've retired, and you can say I've had 10, 15 years in football playing,
okay,
that is greatness. I respect, admire anyone. When I'm around someone who I know has played the pro game like that, I'm listening to them. I respect them. I think, wow, that's great. That's a dream that everyone would like to have. But to do it, and even no matter what level, I'm talking like even if you play in League 2 or Conference, whatever, I still admire you and I still think you're great.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks. I'll take your admiration.
That's right.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about that you've listened to on the radio or been chatting about? You said there are a couple of things.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think now because you've thrown me off guard. I thought we were going to do about the preview today as well.
Yeah, we are. We are supposed to be
running out of time.
But you chose your.
It's not a big game, is it? So
your one thing. You say it's not a big game. It's a game we need to win.
All right, here it goes. All right, here's a take. Here's my take. Yabba's take on this. All right, I don't know how you feel about this. We're seeing Haaland is probably the best striker in world football right now. He's got numbers. Haaland, sorry. He's got numbers of a goal a game. Since he's been young, he's scoring roughly a goal a game. It's crazy. Does that make him better than strikers of 20 years ago? You know, because we can name loads of strikers from 20 years ago.
No, because he can't
Yeah.
pass.
Well, I'm getting to it. Does that make him better than these guys, or does it suggest that he's playing in an era where they're capable of scoring these goals if he's that good, you know, if he's got something about him? Because I'm looking at football now and I'm watching these games, and maybe I need to go back and watch 90 minutes of a game from 1995 or something and see the difference in quality. There's going to be a change in the way the game's played. But I preferred individual players back then. And I can think of a lot of strikers. I'm just talking strikers, for example. We can talk other positions. When I compare Haaland and the goals he scored, he could say, well, I'm better than Ian Wright because I'm scoring a goal a game. But I could say, well, I think Ian Wright's better than you all round. You know, do you see what I'm saying? So is it a case that Haaland is outstanding, or is it the game's changed so much that you can score a goal a game and that makes you better than Christian Vieri, or Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, or Dennis Bergkamp, Van Basten, all these players, you know, Shearer from the past? Because I tend to think these players, to me, I think they're better than what we see today in general. So that's my take on it. I just think discussion has to be had. Is it the way football's played today? Because I'm watching Arsenal, they haven't got a good striker. Jesus missed 2 clear chances tonight. And I'm watching that, I'm thinking, boy, if that was someone else, that the names that I'm referring to from not so long ago, they would bury that, no doubt about it. You know, so I don't see many good strikers around. And the ones that are top, I don't know if they're that good, like Haaland and all that kind of thing. If I look at the Ballon d'Or list from 1989 or 1990, or, you know, the list of players, the quality of players, I think is we were more enriched with more talent back then than what I'm seeing today. And the football is a bit, I'm not so passionate watching the games anymore. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I was just having a discussion about that today.
Right, hit a couple of your points. One is football is becoming homogenous. Like everyone is
what do you mean? I'm not familiar with that word so much. What does that mean?
It means the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Homogenous. It means there's no sort of distinction between things. So, like, if you go and watch someone in the Championship, like say Burnley, they're all trying to play like Pep. Pep is the worst thing that has happened to football, in my view, because he's got everyone trying to play out from the back, overload half spaces and things, and there's very little kind of alternatives to it now. Things like, you know, the UEFA A and B licenses encourage this behavior, and it almost feels like late stage capitalism or something, like where everyone's phone looks the same, whereas 30 years ago, like the Matrix phone quality. But I think that in terms, when you talk about strikers, for me, I think that what we're seeing is a real increase in the physical qualities of midfielders. And because you play 3 midfielders or you get overrun, you can only play 1 striker. And that has led to a sort of domino effect where defenders and strikers are going down in quality and midfielders are just becoming more and more athletic. And because the thing is that you can't lose that midfield. So you have to put 3 in, you have to put 4 in. And, you know, in order to keep your +1 all over the pitch, you've got to develop defenders that are more ball players than actual defenders. And I feel that culturally, a lot of countries, with the exception of Spain, are losing what their football tradition is. Like I looked at Juve tonight, and it was stunning to me that there wasn't a proper centre-half playing for Juventus. All the way back to, like, who's that Uruguayan that used to play for them? Was it Montero?
Montero, yeah.
Yeah, nasty little so-and-so.
Yeah.
But I mean, a wicked defender. And you look now, and when you look at, like, Haaland and, let's say, Van Dijk, that, like, standouts in their position, you do kind of wonder how they would have got on 20 years ago. But the thing is that I think that with you know, like, better defenders and better strikers, they would have upped their level a bit. But my theory is because of the need to get 3 to 4 people in midfield, we're seeing a drop in the individual quality of strikers and defenders, and we're seeing an increase in the physicality of players.
I like that take. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bath Time. Really good stuff.
Now
B.
Now we go into what we
No, we want to hear your.
You don't
take.
talk about it, Mr. B.
What
Is Haaland better than Ian Wright?
In my opinion, he's a better finisher.
Else?
He's a better finisher.
Yeah.
Than Ian
Who
Wright.
is?
Haaland. Yeah,
No.
finisher. Of course he is. He's a better, but he's not a better footballer. In front of goal, he's disgusting.
Who? Haaland.
Yes, Rob. In front of goal, I think he you know, as an out and out finisher, the person who gets on the end of stuff, I would have him over a lot of people. But Ian Wright, I just think there's a lot of players who are better footballers than Haaland. I don't think he's a total footballer. There's so much more that he can improve to his game, especially when he's back to goal. But going that way, I think he's deadly, man.
There was a picture of I think it's 1993 of Juve players.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
Did you see
all of those? Jesus Christ, man.
Roberto Baggio. There was Roberto Baggio, Di Canio,
Platt,
Muller, Andreas Muller, and Vialli. That's 5, and there was someone else in there as well. Ravanelli at the back, yeah. So imagine that. Ravanelli, Roberto Baggio, Platt, Andreas Muller, and Vialli, all in one Juve team or squad. Outstanding.
So do you think that like Haaland is a better finisher than Ian Wright?
No, I think Ian Wright's a better finisher because he can left foot, right foot, lob, chip, head, movement off the ball. You know, I think he's a better all-round finisher. Ian Wright was quality, but Haaland's got a lot of physicality, which can get in front of a guy and then head it. I've seen Haaland miss a lot of sitters, and always wants to get on his left foot. You know, he's got good left foot, but can he finish with his right equally as good? You know, there's a lot of physical stuff and good left foot. But people, you know, they're saying, oh, he's just a grade 2 Andy Carroll because he's big and left-footed as well. Maybe he is. I've heard that said because Andy Carroll's left-footed and he's big.
Oh,
and
no,
he's
shot.
5, whatever. But he's faster than him. He's
there's
bigger and
levels
stronger.
to left-footed, then, isn't it? There's levels.
Yeah, I know, but he's saying he's a grade up from that, where he's got Andy Carroll's stature, he can run faster, and he's just maybe a better finisher as well. But
yeah, but let me put it like this: if you take Haaland out of that City team and you put in Ian Wright at whatever age you want, does Ian Wright get the same amount of goals? For me, no, nowhere near.
This is the thing: do defenders mark anymore?
You can't.
Defenders actually. There's a lot. Yeah, all right. I will answer it. I will answer it. Then.
Okay.
Right, so does Ian Wright score as many goals as Haaland if he's playing that City team? Here's the thing: how I answer it. I think he can. Yes, we've seen Aguero score abundance of goals for Man City, but in this team today, my question is: does Ian Wright was getting marked? Remember his stories about Des Walker, man marking him, putting him out of the game, and all that kind of thing.
Yes, but you're going to the past when we're trying to talk about the present.
No, I'm answering the question about whether Ian Wright can score. So what we're seeing today, we're seeing players not being marked. And if you don't mark Ian Wright, he's going to have all the freedom and movement to be dangerous and off the ball movement and running to hurt these teams. You know, a lot back then, you'd have to man mark these strikers and really put it on them. These days, I don't see that same kind of like physical contact between defenders and attackers. You are supposed defenders at top level. They're not marking people as they used to. They are marking space or marking space rather than the actual man. So I think Ian Wright today, with his movement and that freedom and that space to work with and link up play and thing, he'd have a field day out there. I saw Jesus had 2 1-on-1s today with great movement, didn't finish his dinner. He could have had a brace tonight, could have 3-4 goals. You know, football's changed. So I think it's unfair to say that Ian Wright wouldn't score as many goals. And I'm using Ian Wright because I've mentioned him earlier. But you can name any of these players, Vieri, Shearer, or any of these top players from the past. You know, I think they would have a field day with the way tactics are in football today.
So does Ian Wright score as many goals
Yes.
as Haaland?
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think so, Mr. B?
I'll just give you my reason why.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. No, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either. I think that's kind of like the yardstick for it. Some of the other players Yabba mentioned, I don't know about Christian Vieri. We didn't really see him in the Premier League. I mean, obviously, he's a hell of a player. Shearer, I don't know about the pace, but Ruud van Nistelrooy would eat a lot. Even like I think Ollie might get more goals than Ian Wright would for City, just based off the way they play and things. No, I liked Ian Wright. Well, I hated him as a player, but I respected him as a player. You know what I mean? But I think that what you have to do when you're making this argument is look who you can put in that City team that you're very confident will score more goals than Haaland to kind of find out where Haaland is at the moment. And like Dwight York, for example, I don't think he gets anywhere near what Haaland would score for that City team.
Nope.
Like Rooney, Rooney would probably be in a De Bruyne position, so would Yorkie, to be honest. But like out and out strikers, there are obviously a couple, but I don't think more than a couple that would score more goals than Haaland in that City team.
So Haaland's unique. Haaland's unique. He's the best today. But I'm saying in general, there's not enough. We're talking about Rashford leaving and who we're going to bring in, and we're talking about this guy from playing at Sporting Lisbon. You know, I don't think there's enough abundance of players out there as there were in the past that have got that quality. That's my thing. So regardless, I see what you're saying about the Haaland comparison. I used Haaland because he's supposed to be the best now, and he's scored a goal a game almost. But I just think in general, when I look around world football, I don't see enough top quality guys.
And if we did like a current Premier League best 11 of say the last 3 seasons or whatever, and compared it to one in what 2004 is about the peak of the Premier League, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think like when you look at De Bruyne, Salah, Rodri, maybe even Kyle Walker, Haaland, there are some shouts for those players to get in. I think certainly, unfortunately, Salah, I think, is one you have to consider for the all-time Premier League 11 now.
Yeah, but is he better than Henry?
Well, off goals and assists and trophies, probably.
Forget that. But this is what I'm saying. Haaland, you could say Haaland's better than Ronaldo R9 because he scored more goals. Yeah, that's if they're going to go down that route. So my thing is, obviously, Salah's doing the business.
That's our strikers then.
Yeah, exactly. So is Salah doing so good in this position he's playing? I don't think he's a better player than Henry. He might have better numbers or whatever. I don't think he's better than Henry though. Henry, watching him, this guy was.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Giggs.
Who, Salah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's Ryan Giggs. Like you know, just the goal against Aston Villa puts him clear. Treble winner. Like, was he got 11 league titles or something? 13 league titles. Like, I mean, and obviously I'm hugely biased because I'm a Manchester United fan and I hate Liverpool. But when you look at some of the players that are around at the moment, I think they do. I think that Rodri, Salah, and Haaland have shouts to be all-timers for the Premier League. Whether they're in or not, it's a matter to argue. But I think that kind of shows you that there is still a lot of good, that there's a lot of good players in the Premier League. And I think that the overall standard is far, far higher than it was 10 years ago.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know if this applies to all sports as well, but a lot of people said, if you look at Michael Jordan, he's played in the 80s and 90s. people are still saying there's no one better than him, even though LeBron might have some stats that are better, for example. Or you look at boxing, the best boxers, Sugar Ray. They still say Sugar Ray Robinson's the best of all time, and he was boxing in the 40s and 50s. You know, it's really, I don't know whether people have been nostalgic or whether they've got their heart set on a certain guy from the past, or whether sports really has moved on and improved. I don't know. George Best, I mean, what player he was, playing in the 60s and early 70s. I think he was amazing what he did, So I don't see players like that anymore, that are super talented and out there and playing some great football, It's just in all sports, not just football. I'm just interested. Not saying I just often think, are these guys better than what we had in the past?
Do you think it goes in cycles though? I think maybe I'm being really unfair, but my understanding is that football in the 70s in England was dreadful.
Yeah. But if you look at the players,
hatchet men were it was a different level. You were allowed to kick a man.
Look at the players. Look at the quality of players.
What? Because they could run on potato patches.
Look at Colin Bell. I mean, he was just as good as Lampard. He could run all day. What a quality player he was. Look at Kevin Keegan, Kenny Dalglish. Look at the Leeds team. Were winning things. These are good players. It's just that England didn't qualify for any World Cups during the 70s, did they? 74, 78, and they were really poor. But I just think that you can't. In English football, there's a lot of quality players around.
Was that the great Liverpool team around sort of 84 or something?
Yeah, obviously after the Heysel Stadium thing, but yeah, Liverpool were great back then.
All right, we're getting told off, Yabba. We've got to do the preview.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on.
Oh, you do, bloody hell! Jesus Christ!
Sorry,
I was enjoying that.
No, I understand that. But it is 11 o'clock. You lot are talking like you lot damn chicken's ass. I've never heard you lot talk so much. I swear, you lot have just been rabbit. I've been sitting there thinking, are we going to get this preview done? I even put a clue up. Steph put up, where's the preview? You lot have just carried on waffling like you're talking on a video call. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Look, guys. All right. I know you enjoy the chat, and that's what we do on the agenda. We start one place and we end up somewhere completely different. But it was supposed to be a preview show, so we may as well just get.
So it's got Colin Bell in there too.
We may as well get your score predictions in so we can go home.
Yeah, I'll be punchy on this one.
Oh, you will be. All right. Well, look, right. Oh, is it worth getting our 11s up or no? No. Right. Good. Right. We got some scores coming in now. Look, we know it's going to be a rotation tomorrow. I'm feeling. Obviously, we're all feeling that Onana's going to play. Maguire, I think, will start. Bruno is obviously going to start. I think Xerxes starts. I think Mazraoui will be on the pitch. Apart from that, I think it's a kind of free for all in into what positions we're playing and who plays. Do you think Rashford plays?
Trackers.
You think they're pardon?
I think the dirt trackers should play. I think that Eriksen and Casemiro. We've got so many games coming out. We got the derby on Sunday, and for the first time in 10 years, that
got a classifier now. No.
I think we're going in as favourites, to be honest.
I don't want them to do that. But they won't do that. They won't do that. As bad as they've
win in 10 games.
Been playing. Don't do that.
All right, but so anyway, I think that we should play Eriksen, Casemiro. I reckon he's going to stick Onana and Martinez out and tell them to make up for their mistakes. But I would personally play Bayinda in this one.
Really?
Yeah, I want accountability. Like Nana like tripped over and like let the ball go in. That's not.
He didn't even trip over bath time. He watched the ball all the way and dived the wrong way on purpose. I'm
He went
convinced.
way slower than my student loan,
Yeah.
to be honest. But I would stick. I'd stick Harry. What I would do, right, is I'd try and play Yoro, Maguire, and Maz, because I think that's our best back three, and the back three that should be going forwards. I understand people say Delict or whatever, but I think that he should play the back three that he wants to be his main
choice.
back three. Yeah, build a few relationships. I would stick Anthony in for Ahmad.
Yeah.
I would put Ericsson next to Bruno. I'd play Xerxes if we're going to play Højlund. I don't know what we're going to do, but I think that we've got to put as many of the players that we don't want to see over the next couple of weeks in this team. Save some legs for other people.
So do you think then that he should be going? He should be thinking about the City game and the players he wants to start in the City game.
Yeah, he definitely will be, because they're obsessed with like physical loads and things like that.
But the problem is the thing is, it seems like some players are starting the weekend game, and some players are starting. I mean, Ahmad didn't start the weekend game, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Right, which means then he would be due a start this game. If it goes how Amarin kind of does it, but I don't want him to start this game. I want him for the City game.
Yeah, I think it will be. Look, if you put it this way, what result would Amarin want the most? A 1-1 or a 2-0 for each of these games? If those are two results, and you can pick whichever game it is, 1-1 or 2-0. Which one?
I'll take the 1-1 in. I'll take the 1-1 in the first game, and just the 2-0 in the second one.
For City.
I want to beat City. I want to beat City.
I think that I think you have your answer then, like in terms of sort of priorities and stuff. Like I don't know. I don't really know. Like we've got no chance of getting automatic qualification out of Europa League, do we? We've got to go through the playoffs.
No, we don't. We've got 3 games left. We're on 9 points. We win, we go to 12, and then it'll be on the last 2. And we're playing crap teams. All right, we got beaten by 20, and I think they're third bottom. So let's not get it twisted. Oh, we drew, but it feels like a loss to be felt like a bloody loss.
Oops.
I'll take the City win. If it means that he sacrifices and we do F all in that, then fine. But I want this team that he feels is his strongest team needs to be starting against City.
There you go. And that's how I feel. So get the dirt trackers out and get like, wouldn't it be nice? I know it's ridiculous to say this, but wouldn't it be nice if Anthony turned in a good performance? Like he did all right at like right wing back last time, but if he goes and turns in a good performance, and Amarin makes a big song and do about it in the dressing room after the match, Ahmad's got to then turn up against City. Because I don't want it to get what I don't
comfortable.
Want us to be doing. Yeah, comfortable, like, and all that kind of stuff. So I would, I can see we deserve better as team, and I'm all. Apart from playing Martinez twice, I think he means Maguire. I would be all right with something like that. In fact, I think that's relatively similar to my team.
Is that what is Ericsson? Yeah, it's not too far off yours it's not too far off yours to be fair, bath time.
Yeah, like so. I like that. So I think we deserve better, and myself are obviously on a wavelength. We're on a spectrum. But yeah, like that's. I mean, I don't know what you think, Yabba, about this, but I think dirt trackers and then go for the knockout.
Strong.
Yeah, I'm going to be punchy, and I do agree. Yeah, my team is similar to that. Dirt trackers, I like that expression. But yeah, players that going to be rotated and not going to play against City, and give Anthony a game, give all these guys a game, keep them ticking over. I don't know much about our opponents, to be honest. If it's home or away, I know it's an early kickoff.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, but you must know that we're away. We are actually playing away.
Okay, we're away, early kickoff as well, so I won't be able to watch the game. I'll be working. So good luck tomorrow. I hope we get a good result and climb that table with this new format, which I'm not a big fan of.
Look, we're definitely going to qualify. Either way, we're definitely going to qualify. But I want us to qualify in the top 8. I do. I'll be honest. I don't.
We're definitely going to qualify. I want us to qualify.
Yeah, no, in the top 8. You know, there's two quality. You got the 8, and then the, whatever it is to the other. Like, I don't want to be involved in that rubbish playoff part. I want to get through in that 8. I mean, we've still got opportunity to do it. I would just have to see what the yes.
You said you've got 3 games left. Usually the games are done by the first week in December in Europe. When are these games being played? This year, before Christmas?
January. I think the last one's in January, isn't it?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think the last one's in January.
I think it's after the Liverpool game, Yabo, which is your birthday.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Okay.
All right, are we doing a watch along tomorrow, Mr.
Yes, we are. We are 100%. I'll be finishing work the way that they've stopped to getting their Christmas trees delivered, so there's less pressure on the van and on my stress on my head when these MFs on in their house and they expect you to be coming back at 5 o'clock in the evening when I'm at my house. So yeah, a lot of the stress from the job is gone. So yeah, I should be more than in time to get this this watch along done for tomorrow. Reaction. Are you guys going to be on reaction? Is it just me and Dora tomorrow?
I won't be able to watch the game, unfortunately.
I don't think I can see the game either, so I'm going to excuse myself from it.
Well, look, it's going to be reaction with just me and Dora tomorrow. It's no problem. We don't mind, and we'll hold the fort because you guys have to work, which is fine. You know,
well, like get Tyrone or someone from the comments on. Like Andrew's always got a lot to say. Victor Meldrew.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna come on. He ain't gonna come on.
Tyrone,
like,
calling you. Love Actually, like, you know, like, have you seen Love Actually, where Keira Knightley like holds up like big cards of what she's thinking? We could get Andrew just to do that. It just says crap.
That doesn't sound like my kind of film.
What, Love Actually?
Yeah. No, that doesn't sound like my kind of film. I'll be honest. That doesn't sound. I've never even heard of it. But when you're talking about Keira Knightley, she don't act in no film with no guns. So I
Expendables.
I don't think I'll be interested. To be fair,
but look, let me heard of Love Actually.
I've heard of it.
Why would I have heard of Love Actually?
Because it's one of the biggest kind of Christmas films. So
that's probably why. That's probably why. I'm not into Christmas films. Bath time, Jesus. They said there ain't no guns in it. Obviously, there's nobody. What's the word? Yeah, that's not my kind of film. No, I know it doesn't sound like. Love Actually, yeah, it doesn't sound
maybe the sequel, Divorce, maybe. It's what you like.
Yeah, that's the one I'm more likely to watch because then there'll be a reason why they got divorced. You know what I mean? It could have been an affair, which makes it exciting. You know,
have you seen Snakes on a Plane?
I haven't seen that.
That's the one with it's a silly film. That's the one with Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that. That's trash. But I have seen it. I know. Yeah, it's got Samuel L. Jackson in it. Keira Knightley's not in that, though, is she?
I don't think so.
There you go. There you go. See, look, let me get some of these score predictions up anyway. We've got Simon Warner's gone 2-1. Kira's brother, has gone 3-2 United. Stephanie's gone 4-0 United. Chat Sports gone 3-0 United. We Deserve Better. It's gone 2-2. Kieran's gone, oh shit, we're beating City on Sunday. Wasn't quite a score, but we'll take that anyway. Simon Warner's gone 2-0 and 2-1 if Onana's playing. Have we got any more scores coming? If we got any more scores coming in, I think that was it. Oh, V's gone. Oh, V's on the pipe. Sevy's gone 7-0 United. All right, we'll take that, V. If that happens, then yeah, I'm not even going to say that. Just it won't happen. But yeah, I would take a 7-0. I would love to take a 7-0 tomorrow. Tyrone's gone 1-0. I'm gonna go 2-1 tomorrow. What you going, Yabba?
I'll go 1-0.
Good, no explanation, just what I wanted. And bath time?
2-0 to us.
Yeah, obviously, I would like to think it was to us. Right, guys, we waffled for ages. No apologies for it, though. That's what we do. The fact that you lot all stayed here means that we really enjoyed the waffling. We will be back tomorrow at the slightly earlier time of 5:45. Reaction Jeff 5:45, slightly earlier. Reaction will be at 9 o'clock with Dora and whoever else wants the link, whoever else wants to jump on. Is there anything else you want to say before we lack a notch these guys?
No, big show on Friday, maybe.
Yes, Friday. We'll hopefully have a bigger panel. We keep asking you guys to come on and you keep turning us down. Like we're smelly front whores. But eventually, you know, you will succumb. You will get desperate one day and come on with some air freshener. But guys, look, we ask you every week. You lot are in the chat every week, every night. You're in the chat. Just come on. We told you can be cameraless. It doesn't make no difference. So Friday, as I said, is open to whoever does want to come on. But yeah, look, it's gonna be like a notch from me. Oh shit, Yava, sorry. Yava, is there anything that you want to say before we go?
Like a notch.
Thank you. Right, so it's like a notch from Yava. Like a notch from me.
Like a notch from me.
You can say it again, Yava. Go on.
And like a notch from me.